Hello. I think I'm streaming. Is anyone here? Let me know. I startled you? Oh, I apologize. Badger, what's up? I am testing this out. Haven't done a live stream yet on my personal channel, which is the channel you're on right here. If you're watching this, welcome. Thank you. What's going on, Jedi Spartan? Hello. And because I am doing this for the first time over here, and I've obviously gained a number of subscribers, from the videos here, let me know when you're in the chat. Badger, obviously, I know you're over from the target audience. Let me know for everyone else here if you are here, if you're a target audience viewer, or if you're here, found me through this channel, through my Beatles reactions, or any of the other reactions I did. Rafael Rosario. You guys did a great job on the Gates McFadden interview. Congratulations. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. It was a very nerve-wracking experience. Not the interview, not just the interview itself, but all the time leading up to it. It was about a 3-month process from when we first got in contact with Gates back in December, all the way until doing the interview, going on 2 weeks ago. It'd be 2 weeks ago tomorrow that we did it, which is nuts. And all of that happening. Uh, I'll dive more into it in a few minutes here. But yeah, it was nerve wracking for sure. But I really do appreciate that. All of the feedback has been incredible. I told Alex and Haley, my wife, when I was uploading it, I'm like, my prediction is 9,000 views. I don't know why. That was just my prediction for YouTube, and it's at 11,500. So it already surpassed that. I knew it wasn't going to be, our most watched video or anything like that. I'm aware our audience is there for reactions, and even though an interview with a celebrity to me is really awesome, not everyone is interested in that type of format. So I knew it wasn't going to be like an incredibly high viewed video, but I've been very satisfied not only with the results of it, but also the feedback we've gotten on it has been basically all positive. And really appreciate that. It's obviously the first real interview we had ever done of anything. So Alex, I thought, did a great job, and we both had strengths. I thought we played off each other well, and yeah, I thought it went really well. So um, Gates did, give us positive feedback too, and hopefully we can get some more opportunities in the future. But it's not going to be an every week thing. We don't have expectations of, oh, what Star Trek person are we talking to this week? That's not going to be the short term case, obviously. But as big opportunities once in a while, it's awesome to do, and to have the very first one be Gates McFadden was incredible, obviously. So Connor, what's up, Connor? Katie, how are you doing? Yes, I a patron member for sure, absolutely. I recognize your name. Jedi Spartan, you're from target audience. Outcast Jedi, okay. Nicotine, is it nicotine? Hey, what's up? Allison, thought this was on TA, but subscribe to both. Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, I haven't been super active here on my personal one. I started it at the beginning of the year. But I edit everything on target audience myself, so that takes up a majority of my time. And I've been trying to do more stuff over here, but obviously, as you can tell, if you've been here on the YouTube, haven't uploaded here in a few weeks, and also on Patreon, haven't uploaded in a few weeks. So I always have there's always excuses, right? But my current excuse was, 2 weeks ago we had the Gates McFadden interview, which took up a lot of my time preparing for and getting done. And then last week we went on a road trip to Richmond, Virginia for a Comic Con where we had our first ever live panel. So some really big outside of recording stuff we've been doing lately. But now, luckily, kind of like why I had the time to do this live stream is because those things have happened, and now we don't have anything big like that on the schedule, and it's back to normal recording, hopefully, of 3 to 4 days a week, done by 2 p.m. my time, and have more time for editing and also hopefully some personal channel stuff. Alex has been killing it on his personal channel, being very consistent over there, but I'm hoping to get to his level on that. But it's going to take time. My wife Haley does help with the YouTube edits for Star Trek, but uh, you know, it's a lot, obviously. So this personal channel is, I hope to be active on it, but it's as of right now definitely a side thing, a when I'm able to get to it type thing. But I've really enjoyed it. Did you have to pay her? So yeah, I'm not going to get into the specific details of it, but what I would say is just that she was very gracious about it, and very nice, and wants to see our channel grow. And so what I will say is, if we get to talk to people in the future, we absolutely do offer, to pay them for their time. Absolutely. So, Doctor Who Book Club is here. What's up? Did Terry Farrell remember the cameo she did for you guys? Well, we didn't bring it up because when you go to meet these people, and Doctor Who Book Club's talking about the Richmond, Virginia GalaxyCon we just attended, and we met Terry Farrell, Armin Shimmerman, Nana Visitor, and the Chief Colomini at their meet and greets, and then did a photo op with the four of them. Now, this doesn't have anything to do with the channel. Anyone could go to this con and do this. However, we were booked on the convention, which is why part of why we went. So we did have VIP passes included because we were entertainers on the event. So that helped us obviously. I don't know if I would have been there if that wasn't the case, but we paid just like any other regular person to do that. But when you're meeting these celebrities, obviously you have a line behind you. You only have limited time, so I didn't go up and go, "Hey, you did a cameo for me." That wasn't my instinct. I wanted to, with Terry Farrell, to just tell her, "Hey, I just started watching Deep Space Nine. We're on season 3, and you're absolutely my favorite on the show." And that was the main thing I wanted to say to her. And then Alex really wanted to tell her that we liked Meridian because it doesn't have a great reputation. But when he told her that we liked Meridian, she had no idea for a second what we were talking about until she remembered Brett Cullen being the guest star, and then we talked about the episode a little bit. So she definitely wasn't like when we interviewed Gates. She was absolutely aware of the reputation of Sub Rosa, and even to an extent, the reputation of Genesis. It didn't seem like Terry Farrell was really aware of like the reputation of Meridian, which I mean, good. I'm glad. Did you get her to record an intro to your show? No, we didn't do that either. I don't know who we were talking about, Gates or Terry or whoever, but no, we didn't do anything like that. We For the DS9 people, we weren't meeting them as target audience. It's like I don't go there to be like, hey, my channel. It's like we went there to just meet them as people. And then as far as the Gates interview, I figured that went through that crossed our mind of doing something like that, but I didn't. First of all, it was my first interview we ever did. The beginning of it was very interesting scenario. Star Trek Iborg, I know you're in the bridge crew. We'll be talking more about it if you're able to go to the hangout this Saturday on Discord. We'll get in more of the details of it. But that wasn't something that I prioritized to do. And also, I just, not that I have anything against it. It's definitely cool to have that, but I decided against it. If I want to put a clip of Gaze McFadden at the beginning of our video, it's like I can do that regardless, without it being an intro to our video. But it is cool when channels have that. I'm gonna try to catch y'all's messages. I do believe super chats are on if you want me to read it right away, but I'm trying to scroll up here. Um, Taylor. Hello, Taylor. Hi, Josh. Love the Star Trek reactions. Just started watching TOS myself after growing up with TNG. I also enjoy your Beatles reactions on this channel. When is the next one coming out? Well, I really appreciate that. I'm hoping now that we are back on this regular schedule for a while, what I'm hoping is that I can make a day of a schedule for myself that's to record for my personal channel. And then editing wise, it'll go all into the bucket with all the other stuff I edit. But right now, I have no set schedule for recording for my personal channel like how we do for target audience. So I'm hoping to set that up so that it's not kind of like a, well, do I have time today to record it? Because usually that answer will be no if I haven't pre-planned it. So hopefully next week I can start getting on a regular recording for my channel, and then you'll see stuff coming. But the first thing I'm definitely going to do with that is the next Beatles album, which is the Sgt. Pepper's album. And with the music reactions, I do all of those live on my Patreon. So, uh, if you go to my Patreon right now, there's not a ton of content, obviously, but I do have those live music watch along. So if you've noticed when I do the music reactions, I'm talking to people in chat because I can play the music over Patreon without getting taken down or anything, and that's cool. But then I'm also still watching the first season of 6 Feet Under and of Smallville. Smallville hasn't made it to YouTube yet, but I've watched the first 2 episodes of that. Both of those will come as well. So those are all coming, and then within the coming weeks, hopefully. But again, it's hard. I have difficulty enough staying. If you're a TA fan, you know this. I have difficulty enough staying consistent on YouTube for target audience. So staying consistent on this channel is going to be even more of a challenge. But I appreciate all of you that are here. If you like the Dark Side of the Moon, I'd recommend you to try Animals, another album by Pink Floyd. Delboy says, "Okay, yeah, I definitely did really enjoy Dark Side of the Moon. If you didn't listen to that album reaction, I would highly recommend it to anyone out there. But yeah, I did definitely enjoy it, and I do want to try out more. I'm gonna do Sergeant Pepper's first for the Beatles, so that I have done those three, and then I'm not gonna stop listening to the Beatles, but I wanted to do those three first, absolutely, and then I'll do probably another Pink Floyd, and then I have a few other artists that I already know I want to watch and listen to an album of. But speaking of that, I think we've gone long enough. There's enough people here. I also want to do something. I got a package in our PO box, so I wanted to open it up here on my channel because this is from Steve Donnelly. Now, I'm going to assume Steve's not here live, but I will also put this up as a P.O. Box video like the others. It is addressed to target audience, but the reason I'm opening up here on my channel, and I'll still show this to Alex, Steve, if you're watching, I'll show this to Alex too, is because it says right on the package, he wrote the Beatles discography. So the Beatles related, I felt like it made sense to open here for my channel since that's what I've been listening to. And Alex is not really a obviously he likes music, but I don't think he's ever heard the Beatles or listened to them. I don't know. I have to ask him. But I'm gonna open this up here. Okay, cool. Got a little note. Let's read this first. Alex and Josh, I know this is more for Josh's Beatles journey, but wanted to send one to you both, to both of you. I wrote this as a labor of love for a mega fan for mega fans. All right, Steve Donnelly. Oh, okay, yeah, looks like there's two of them in here, so I will actually get to give one to Alex as well. That's awesome. Let's see what this is. And Steve said he wrote this. The Beatles discography, the releases. The releases, Volume 1, October 1961 to December 1970. There's his name there at the bottom, Stephen Donnelly. All right. Stephen Donnelly is a multiple Emmy award winning writer and editor. What the hell? A self described Beatles fan, he has spent the better part of the last 2 decades researching and compiling the Beatles discography. He resides in a small town in Colorado with his family and is currently working on future volumes. When did this come out? That's amazing. Oh, here's a. It looks like this one was signed for Alex, so I'm going to grab the other one. Same thing. Josh, hope this helps with your Beatles journey. Enjoy the ride. Thank you so much. That's awesome. I don't know if Steve is on our Patreon or if he's just a YouTube viewer. I'm gonna have to look that up and try to get, personally thank him because this is awesome. Introduction. And I could probably learn a lot about the music as well. That's sweet. I'm gonna try to find one of the albums I listened to. Or actually, this one's until 1970. So I'm pretty sure, you guys tell me if I'm wrong. I think all the albums I listened to were in the 70s, right? Or no, wait. Or no. No, no, they weren't. They weren't. Because here we go. Here's Revolver. 60s. That is sweet. Here, Rubber Soul. The Beatles broke up in 1970. Okay. That's awesome. Well, thank you, Steve. I hope you eventually see this. Thank you so much. I'm going to post this on the TA channel. I'll give Alex his copy, absolutely. And that is awesome. What a great thing to have. Thank you so much. Hey, Marco's here. What's up, Marco? Also, The Wall is a must if you're getting to know Pink Floyd. All right, I will keep that in mind. Keith, what's going on, Keith? Have you run into very many copyright issues on YouTube? In general, yeah, of course. I run into them. I don't want to say all the time. With the Star Trek specifically, we are quite uh, conservative with what we show in terms of the program, in terms of the series. Um, I think if you compare us to a lot of other reaction channels, we don't show as much, and that bothers some people. But oh well. And so we don't run into it, with every video or anything like that. But just a few weeks ago, we had two of the Voyager videos taken down. One of them for a deleted scene. They were taken down, and I fought both of them and got them both manually. Paramount looked at them and manually released the claims. So I think I'm pretty confident that our reactions are fair use. Almost, I don't get copyright claimed all the time, and then when I do, every single time I appeal it, it gets released. So in terms of the music, they get copyrighted on YouTube no matter what. It really doesn't matter. You can like really, if you were gonna like maybe include 2 seconds, it won't get claimed. But with doing an album reaction, like it's gonna get claimed. It doesn't matter. So even with like the way I chop it up, for example, for what I've done on this channel so far, it's gonna get claimed. The thing is, it's just not going to get taken down. But even with getting the channel monetized, I'm never gonna make money on any of those videos because they're all gonna get claimed. So doing music reactions isn't really for like making money from the AdSense of the YouTube videos. It is what it is, but that's why we got the full album listens, on Patreon. Erica or Eric, I don't know if it's Erica or if A is the start of your last name, but listen to 2019 Sergeant Pepper Super Deluxe Remaster version. I'll keep that in mind. Yeah, Marco, yeah, my trip was great. Yeah, I talked a little bit about it, but it was the first time going on a long road trip with Alex since like 2018 when we used to both wrestle. It was an 8-hour car ride and it was a good time. And then the actual being there in Virginia, I've never been to Virginia except for one time I went to Virginia Beach when I was 18 or 17. So being in Virginia was cool. We went to an Irish pub both nights that we were there. Um, had some fish and chips. And it wasn't like a specifically Irish pub. It was just a pub, and they had like Irish flag. I think it was just like the UK, just like a bunch of different flags. But it was a good time. And then obviously meeting the DS9 people was a lot of fun. Having our own panel was scary as hell, but it went okay. I just got the video file of the panel today, so that'll be up soon on Patreon and then eventually to YouTube. And then yeah, we had a good time. Oh, we also met the Hardy Boys, which if you're a wrestling fan, the Hardy Boys were like a big deal to me when I was a kid. So that was an extra fun little thing we did. We got to meet them. I was actually sitting, my wife and I were sitting in the lobby of one of the connected hotels, not the one we stayed in, but we were sitting there, and then suddenly Jeff Hardy just walks in with his daughter and like a whole bunch of other kids that I guess were like just with his entourage or whatever. And then his daughter just decided to sit down on the couch we were sitting down on. So then Jeff Hardy sat down and they were all sitting there for like 5 minutes. And, I just acted nonchalant. But I was like, "Oh, Jeff Hardy's sitting right here." And then John Bradshaw Layfield came up with the WWE title, and he's like, "Oh, what's up?" And he started talking to them. So it's pretty cool. It's always cool with stuff like that at a convention. Like obviously going up and meeting them is cool, but just little encounters like that, or like we saw Nana Visitor at breakfast at our hotel. Alex saw her in the hotel gym. Obviously, we don't bother these people. I never want to, I'm never one to when I see someone like that in the wild per se. Even though we're at a con, I always feel like I go up to your table and I pay you for your time, that's when I will bother you. You know what I mean? So it's like seeing them at breakfast or in the gym or something like that. I never, I'm gonna bother anybody, but it's still cool just to see them. Oh, Guy Fieri is here. You often mention how your reactions have caused people to change their previous opinions. Has audience disagreement ever caused you or Alex to reevaluate your opinion in the same way? Um, I think on the biggest example for me, well, first of all, a recent example was Shadow Play from last season of Deep Space Nine, where I had completely just written it off as like I didn't like this. And then not that that was like a beloved one or anything, but people liked it generally more than I did. I think even Alex liked it more than I did. And then when I went back and did the YouTube edit and rewatched it, I was like, "Oh, you know what? The Odo stuff in here is pretty good." So I think I bumped it up for me from like a D to a C. There's never been anything drastic of like, "Oh, I didn't like this at all," D or E, and then it goes up to an A or something. That's never happened. Um, for TNG examples, the most toys, I didn't change my reasoning of not liking it. I didn't care for the most toys because it's a minority opinion, absolutely, but I didn't care for Saul Rubinak or whatever his name was, the guest guy. I didn't think he was good. I thought he was cheesy, and I didn't like how they executed with the premise of Data being abducted. I thought it was such an interesting idea that was wasted. But a lot of people liked that episode. When I went back and rewatched it, I did not like the Data stuff more. However, I did appreciate the Geordi stuff more, especially since when I rewatched it, I had finished the series now, and the Geordi stuff in terms of thinking Data is dead and how determined Geordi is to get Data back. I liked that the first time watching it, but the disappointment of the Data side of it brought it down more for me. Watching it that second time, I could kind of be like, okay, the Data stuff I know doesn't hit as much for me here, but the Geordi stuff I appreciated more. So there are times that it happens. But in terms of like if I have a specific opinion and then the audience says, "No, you're wrong. This is our opinion." I don't know if there's been an exact example where I've gone back and gone, "Oh, my opinion's completely changed." I can't think of it. I mean, in most cases, it's just like a slight increase of I liked it more than before. But even then, a lot of that can be attributed to I just really like Star Trek. So I go back and on rewatches, I tend to like it because it's Star Trek, if that makes sense. Um, I guess Balance of Terror, if we go really far back, first watch Balance of Terror, I was like, "Oh, that was fine, but I don't really care about war stories," and I was kind of bored. And then when we did our rewatch of Balance of Terror, obviously that's a beloved episode, and we did our rewatch, I was like, "Oh wow, this episode's awesome." And that is probably because we were just so new to Star Trek at the time that I just didn't that wasn't my type of episode on a first watch, but then going back after seeing the whole series and the movies and everything, and going back, I'm like, "Oh wow, this is I really liked it." Yeah, we didn't get any spoilers at the convention, and I think in general that's a bit overblown. I do understand the fear for, like, example, the Star Trek convention in Vegas. I'm a little bit more on high alert about spoilers going to that because it's literally the 60th anniversary Star Trek convention. So I do, I am concerned in a certain way, and we'll try to put things in place to mitigate that. But in terms of this random GalaxyCon where Deep Space Nine people are at, really the only risk is like if we're in a line for the photo or autograph and someone else starts talking about it, like which didn't happen. I mean, that's really the only example where I think we could be spoiled on something because we're not going to the panels, we're not going to the Star Trek Q&As, obviously. And like when we go up to the table, it's not like I walk up and I'm like, "Hey, what's up, Armin Shimmerman?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, in season 6," it's just like that's not really how the conversations go. Most of the celebrities really just let you gear the conversation, and some of them, if you don't say anything, they'll just say, "Oh, thank you. Hey, nice." Like they let you control it. So the first thing we say when we go up to each celebrity is explain to them, "Hey, we just started watching the show. This is where we're at." And then we usually have some type of topic that we want to focus it on. So like when I met Gates the first time in December, I was like, complimented her direction on Genesis. And we just talked about Genesis. Or like with Brent, we talked about The Offspring. Jonathan Frakes, I talked to him about his direction on a number of the TNG episodes. And also I talked to him about Beyond Belief because that was my favorite show growing up. So I think it's not like a scenario where we're super open to spoilers. And at these conventions, it sucks. I wish it wasn't the case, but there's no Star Trek representation at these conventions. Like it is not like the Star Trek people are obviously there, but in terms of like when you go around walking through the vendors who are just selling random stuff, I mean, you'll find everything. You'll find Star Wars, you'll find Marvel, you'll find Twilight, you'll find everything. And the Star Trek representation is just so little. Like my wife was able to find a Star Trek shirt of the Enterprise D at this vendor that just did like a bunch of shirts of random IPs, and like that was the one Star Trek shirt, and she was able to find that. And like once in a while, I'll be able to find like a magnet or something, but like it is not. Unfortunately, Star Trek just doesn't seem to be like as big of a IP at these things, which is weird because I know Star Trek had such a big hand in kind of making conventions what they are, decades ago. So that's unfortunate, but that's just my experience of going to the Galaxy Cons. I've never been to other conventions, so I don't know if that's true at all of them. Guessing the chat might be a little bit behind in terms of I know I talked about Balance of Terror already, so yes. So if you missed that, yes, I mentioned Balance of Terror. Maybe Doctor Who Book Club says maybe you'd like Cupid more now that you've seen Prince of Thieves and liked Vash on DS9. Yeah, I actually admitted that in a recent reaction. And Doctor Who Book Club, I think you're still on Patreon, right? I'm not sure. And if you are, I don't know if the reaction is up or if it's available to audience members yet, because I don't remember which one it was. But I mentioned Cupid recently, and I said maybe I was Vosh brained in Cupid, because that was her second episode, and I really didn't like her in Captain Holiday. Not necessarily just because of her, like as a person, obviously, but just the one of many problems with Captain's Holiday. And so maybe I should go back and rewatch Cupid. I think that'd be a good one for me to go back and rewatch for sure. Oh yeah, Keith just said it as well. Did you rewatch Captain's Holiday yet? No. I will say I talked about it recently. Again, a lot of these things, it's like, oh, I talked about this recently. I don't remember when. With Captain's Holiday, I haven't rewatched it, but I did talk about it briefly during something, and I said that Captain's Holiday does have a really good beginning. Like the first like 15 minutes are good when it's doing what this episode is set up to do, which is be Picard on vacation, doing a shore leave. And it's very funny and it's very effective at that. And I know Ira said in the documentary we watched for TNG, Chaos on the Bridge, he said, writing that episode, that was supposed to be the point of it, and then suddenly well, obviously Gene wanted it to be more crazy with like all sexual and whatnot. But the idea of it just being like a literally Captain's Holiday would have been awesome. But we don't gotta get too much down into those weeds. But yeah, I mean, oh my God, it's emo Uncle Tito. What's up, Isaiah? How's it going? Do you Slade was a good villain in Teen Titans series? Yes, goat villain. Slade is a goat villain. Too bad I didn't know ahead of time Gillian Anderson and the cast of Firefly were at a DC convention last weekend. Could have been a detour on the way home. Yeah, I didn't know Gillian Anderson was there, but the cast of Firefly, I saw, what was her name? Jewel Sadie? Is that her name? I saw her say she was going to be there, and I was like, oh my gosh, the Firefly people are doing conventions. I had no idea. And then I saw it's literally the same weekend as the one I was going to. I'm like, damn. But if they ever end up at a Cleveland convention or somewhere close that we're going to be, I would love to meet them as well. And I saw they're doing an animated show now for Firefly. They're bringing it back animated. I'm down for that. Alex and I were talking about it. I think Alex wasn't as excited because it's animated, but for me, it's like I'd rather it be animated and then you can just pick up from where the show left off or a few years later, whatever you want to do, rather than, oh, everyone's 25 years older or whatever. Josh, question. You got to do doing the question tag even here on YouTube, breaking the system. What kind of questions would you like to get in the patron takes going forward? Would you like us to change our approach? Um, I don't know about change our approach. I mean, when I'm reading through the patron takes, I always just think to myself, it's I mean, it's literally such an in the moment thing. It's like I literally glance at it and like there's it depends on the episode too. If there's 30 patron takes, there's a better chance of me reading it than if there's 100. But when I look at it, I'm like, okay, by scanning it real quick, is there something here that'd be either interesting or funny? And I just read it. And obviously, length goes towards that as well. If it's 3 paragraphs, I'm not going to scan the whole thing. But you know, in terms of change approach, I mean, maybe if there was one other thing in terms of, I mean, this makes us sound so stupid, but if it was like, you put question, maybe if it was like just a little bit more specific, uh, like if at the start it was like question about Chakotay, it's just a random example, or like question about the ending, like something like that, maybe. But like even that, it's just going to depend on like what we've already said, what we've already discussed. Sometimes we already covered something in the discussion, so that if the patron take is about that, we might not read it unless we agree or disagree. I don't know. Hey, buddy, love you. Hope the travel was kind to you. Love to see it. Well, thank you so much, man. Hope everything's going well with you. Hope you're doing well. The travel was fun. I hope we can catch up soon, IRL, or at the very least, individually online. Because I don't know where you are right now. I mean, I think I know, but I'm not gonna dox you. Phil's here. What's up, Phil? Which Deep Space Nine side character are you liking the best so far? It's such a great cast of side characters. I'm gonna take side character to mean just anyone that's not in the opening intro credits. I think it's an obvious answer, but I'm gonna say Nog. I mean, I think that's the obvious one, but yeah, definitely Nog, one of my favorite characters of all time already. And if not Nog, because not only is Nog a side character, he's like a, at least right now, like barely there character. So if I did a little bit more of a regular one, then it'd be Garrick. I mean, I think Garrick's really cool. Really liked him in the two-parter, The Wire. It's interesting how even in episodes we don't really like Garrick's parts, or like there's never anything wrong with Garrick. Like there's never anything wrong with his character, his writing, his acting. Like he's just always a good part of it. Like even something like Through the Looking Glass, like he wasn't in it a lot, but it's like, oh, Garrick stuff was good, you know. So I have to say that. Do you have questions for us? Well, the 44 of you here, the 37 of you here, it just updated as I said that. Um, I don't know if I have any questions. I mean, I hope everyone's enjoying everything. I did. I mean, I guess this is just. I mean, it's obviously a very limited sample size here of the people that are here, but I guess one main thing. It's not really a question, but just something I'm curious about is with the Deep Space Nine episodes this season, with the patron takes. Obviously, if people don't like an episode, they voice that they don't like that episode, obviously. But like for the most part, I know going in there that like everyone's a fan of Deep Space Nine, even if they also like Voyager. They're for the most part a fan of Deep Space Nine. Maybe there's one or two patrons that I go in there and they're like, oh, I don't really care for DS9, but blah blah blah. Maybe, but it's really interesting to me how already just a dozen or so episodes in, I go into the Voyager patron takes, and there's already like I know, like I can just guess it, like going in like this person, off the top of my head, I'll be like, this person I know doesn't like Voyager. If I see their name in here, they're going to be talking about why the episode's bad. And this person really likes Voyager, and I don't, and I know if I go in here and see them, they're going to be saying why it's good. And that's irrelevant to what I feel about the episode. That's just, I can just guess that. And then it's like I go in there and I'm basically exactly right. Now, once in a while, there'll be people that are like, oh, if every, like I think I just read one today on the Voyager episode we watched. Oh, if every episode of Voyager was as interesting as this, I wouldn't be a Voyager hater. It's like, okay, that's someone admitting this episode is good. But for the most part, it really just does seem that there's a group of people who like Deep Space Nine and don't like Voyager, and that's completely fine. And I say this in the video, but I'm really glad that those people are still engaging. Like they're not just completely ignoring the Voyager side of the content. They're still engaging with it and leaving patron takes. That's cool. But it just makes me wonder if it's like, you know, is that like why? It's like it's just interesting to me that it's like, okay, if you're not a fan of Voyager, that's cool or whatever, but like, I don't know. It's just very interesting to me of like, Is their plan to do that for the entire series? Is to come in and say why the episode's bad? I mean, if they think it's bad, that's their opinion. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying. I just find it very interesting with the that's the first time I've encountered this. Like in TNG, it was like Ken R and that's it. Like that was his gimmick, and I love Ken R. But now it's like there's 30 Ken R's in the patron takes that all don't like it, and like, oh, what a surprise! They all also happen to love Deep Space Nine. It's just very interesting to me. But I don't see it the other way around, where I don't see the people who love Voyager going over into the Deep Space Nine videos and like trashing on that. It's very interesting. And I'm not saying don't trash on it. Again, I trash on stuff all the time. Like if you think it's bad, leave your patron take and think it's bad. I guess just the predictability of it, I'm starting to catch on to, and it's like that's interesting. Mark, thank you so much for the super chat. Mark Magana, thank you so much. Mark, you are officially the very first super chat I've ever received on this channel. So thank you so much. I deeply appreciate that. Thank you. Um, Congrats on the Gates interview. Was very happy for you guys, and it was a good interview. I would have just sat there, mouth open like an idiot. Well, it was hard not to do that for myself, sit there, mouth open like an idiot. But thank you so much, and thank you for that super chat. And I'm glad you enjoyed the interview. Um, what's been a really weird feeling for me, because it was my first time doing anything like that, is the separation of Gates versus like watching her on the show, if that makes sense. And it's probably because the show's 30 years ago, but like there's like a level of disconnect where it's like talking when I meet these celebrities, and it's not just her. When I meet these celebrities at the conventions, very rarely do I feel like, I feel nervous that I'm meeting the celebrity, not that I'm meeting the character, if that makes sense. Like before doing any of this, I would have assumed like, oh, I'd be so nervous to meet Brent Spiner because he's Data. But then like when I met him, that him being Data didn't like cross my mind at all. I just like saw him as Brent Spiner. And it was like the same thing meeting all the DS9 people, right? And so like interviewing Gates was awesome, but it was just like kind of a surreal experience of like I'm asking her all these TNG questions. It's like I know she was on Star Trek. I know she did the show and I'm asking her about it, but it didn't like hit me, I guess, to like that to like realize that. And then like when I watch TNG or see something from TNG afterward, and I go, oh, that was her. I literally interviewed her. Like it's still like it has trouble hitting me. I don't know. You can call me Ray. I'm just here for the X Files mostly. Well, that's great to hear. We actually had shout out to I'm gonna get his name right. Shout out to Omni Media, OMN1 Media. YouTuber himself, reactor himself, much bigger than us. Not that that matters, but his channel is much larger. Successful guy, obviously. Came up to us at the convention in Virginia and introduced himself and said that he's been really liking the X Files stuff, and he's not really much of a Star Trek fan, but he's really been liking the X Files stuff. And I recognize him because I've seen his channel. And I was like, "Oh, what's your name?" He's like, "Oh, I'm Omni Media." And I'm like, "Oh shit!" I'm like, "Oh yeah, awesome, nice to meet you." And that was my first time ever meeting another creator, like in the wild, IRL. And that was really cool to have him come up and say that he's been enjoying those reactions. And him being a creator is irrelevant to my point, but like it was cool to meet him. But it was cool that it was like, oh, someone came up and obviously we love Star Trek and all of that, but it's like it's cool that there are people that are watching the X Files stuff, not that weren't already here, because it's like that's the goal of anything new, right? Like anytime we start something new, we want it to bring in new people. The people that are already here enjoying Star Trek, if they enjoy the X Files too, that's awesome, but like it bringing in new people will ultimately be the goal, right? So it's cool whenever I see that happen. So you can call me Ray if you're in that bucket as well. That's good to hear. It's been very surprising how positive you've been about Voyager season one, and I'm not a Voyager hater. uh, Maybe you could give more detail on that, Jonathan, in terms of what's been surprising about it. If you just didn't think we'd like the show, or if there was more to that that you mean. But I would say there's definitely an element of expectations. Expectations were so low for anything post TNG, and then especially for Voyager, just because we had like maybe 3 or 4 people in our comments over the years be like, "Oh, I'm excited for Voyager." Like all we had was people excited for Deep Space 9. So you know, being excited for Voyager just like was non-existent. So I just didn't think it was going to be a thing that had that many fans. And then all these people come and join the Patreon, all these people subscribe to the YouTube, and they're all loving it. So that expectation obviously set us up for a low bar. And then I also, because we watched Deep Space Nine and it was so different, I guess I expected Voyager to also be really different. So when it gave me that TOS feeling that I wasn't expecting, it was like, oh wow, we finally get a show that's similar to TOS, because TNG is not similar to TOS, in my opinion. It tries to be in the beginning and it doesn't do it well, and then it gives up and becomes a excellent show. So it's good that it stopped trying to do that. But I don't want Voyager to just try to be TOS all 7 seasons. But it getting that feeling and actually, in my opinion, doing it well has been a lot of fun. Um, and I actually also think it is benefited by watching it at the same time as Deep Space Nine. I think if we watched Deep Space Nine just on its own and then went to Voyager, like there would still be that contrast. But watching them back and forth, I like that we have the hard hitting, deeper thought, complex, slightly more serialized Deep Space Nine, and then we get the fun, cozy Voyager. That doesn't mean Voyager can't handle tough things or have hard hitting episodes. It already has. But just to know, oh, we're on a starship, you get to hear the sound of the engine hum. It's like there's those things, like it's Star Trek, so that's nice. Someone said more 6 feet under reactions. Yes. Actually already have episode 2. It's been on Patreon for a while. I just haven't had the chance to edit it. So that's coming, and I am doing the whole first season still. And I said earlier, but for anyone that missed it, I am going to be hopefully getting back into very regularly doing stuff here on my personal channel. At least one video a week is my goal. And I know that's not a lot at all, but when my plate is as full as it is already with target audience, which is, literally my job, this is just something I'm doing for fun. So I'm hoping once a week on Patreon and YouTube. And so, yeah, that might mean only one episode or 2 episodes of 6 Feet Under a month, but I'm trying my best. Especially on Patreon, it will go up quicker because if I get to sit down and watch 3 episodes, I can just post those all up to Patreon. But I edit everything myself. That obviously I can't afford anything anywhere, in terms of editing. So Haley, my wife, is already busy with helping me with Star Trek. So, um, trying my best, but it is coming. Denax is 71. Thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate that. Your weight loss looks good, Josh. Well, thank you. I haven't I haven't gone through a significant transformation or anything, but I do hope to soon. Or not soon. I do hope to, lose weight, but I definitely have lost a bit since, if you like, if you go back and watch like before I moved into this house, like a year or 2 years ago, I was, a fair amount bigger that I have lost a little bit. But the thing about me is I'm one of those people where all my weight sits right here, so for the most part. So I gotta cut, having an angle like this helps me out versus a full body angle. But hopefully that can continue, and I appreciate the super chat and I appreciate you saying that. Why compare the shows, different animals? I compare everything, man. That's just something I do. I've always done. Everything about me is about what's my favorite, what's my top 10, what do I like about this that I don't like about this, and vice versa. That's just the type of person I am. It is, so it is what it is. Some people don't care. Some people take everything as it is and they don't care what show is their favorite or which one they like best. And that's totally valid. But it's just, uh, Josh, are you as cuddly in real life as you are on video? Ask your wife if not sure. Well, what is that? First, I would need to know how cuddly am I on the video, because I don't cuddle with anyone. So, just my overall personality. My gut instinct would be yes. Gosh, glad you guys could go full time. Well, I really appreciate that. I appreciate that. I've been full time since my birthday, which was last June. So, going on 9 months. Holy crap. Um, but yeah, Alex obviously got to go full time. I think like last month or so, or 2 months ago. Did you ever try keto? It helped me a lot. Of course, you should check with your doctor, perhaps. I wouldn't say that I've tried keto. Like I'm aware of it. I've never really tried a diet in a serious manner in terms of like a specific thing. Like, oh, I'm gonna try this. You know what I mean? Um, but I just in general, you know, because as someone that's at my size, like I feel like at the end of the day, it's calories in, calories out, right? You need to be in a calorie deficit. It is what it is, and I just need to eat less. You know, that's just it is what it is. So, um, I'm trying to do that, but in terms of like a specific method, I know I've never tried anything. That's awesome that that worked for you. Maybe it would work for me. I don't know. Keto is basically just no carbs, right? Little to no carbs. And I assume by eating little to no carbs, you get less calories. What's up, Marcus? No problem that you're late. We're just getting started. Limited carbs, yeah. So that's awesome that that worked for you. I have no idea if that worked for me or not. You know, I my problem is I'm very undisciplined because I grew up with no discipline in terms of what I did with my own life. My mom was very much a supporter of my freedom, and that came with just about everything in my life. I was pretty free to do whatever I wanted. So I never had, I mean, I played football and did a little bit of wrestling. There's discipline in that. But in terms of in my real life, you know, I never had someone that held me accountable to anything. So um having discipline to like be on a strict diet or do things or get my videos up on time or stuff like that is not one of my strengths. So working on it. Enigmatic Penguin, what's up? Favorite Star Trek door sound effect? Well, it's got to be the original TOS. Are they that different? Are the door sound effects that different? TOS would be the one that jumps to mind. Jonathan said, my dieting was mostly keeping busy so I don't have time to eat and moving more. Yeah, you know, that's similar, but this sounds really dumb, but this week, me and my wife both made an effort to go to bed, like actually go to bed. And like this week is my first time in since I can remember that the last 3 nights I've just gone to bed at 10 p.m. and just gotten a full night of rest and just woke up the next day. And like, holy crap, does that make a difference? Like, it's one of those things that's like, duh, stupid, right? But it's like my mindset always used to be like, well, I got to be up editing till 3 p.m. because this needs to get done. But what I failed to realize is that by actually going to bed and getting sleep, I have a lot more energy. And now, like, I've been able to get things done earlier and not on the YouTube side yet. I'm still catching up, unfortunately, with like Star Trek and stuff and on this channel. But in terms of like Patreon, I've literally already edited for Patreon a lot of the stuff we've recorded this week because I just have more energy after we record and can get it done and get to work rather than being completely dead tired after we record, taking a nap or not working, and then like getting on the computer at 10 p.m. It was just a really bad cycle. So I'm really hoping to keep that up and keep my bedtime and get on a regular schedule. Alina's here. Yeah, it's been great for the bridge crew, which is what matters most. Yeah, I mean, and I started putting them early up on Patreon as well for target demographic, but I mean, even for them, like, I'm not going to do it to the point where it's ridiculous just because I don't want the posts to be weeks behind of when they become available for audience members. So, like, for example, the Bridge Crew already has the next Star Trek reaction. That's going to go up on Patreon tomorrow. I just didn't post it already because it's just like I don't want it to be more than a week before audience members get it. So, you know, Bridge Crew will still always get it a little bit earlier, probably. But if it's less than a week, then I'm good with that. I don't want to go more than a week of early access. And there's times in our schedule where we will naturally be less than a week because of when we have something happen and we can't record. So I don't want to, get rid of that buffer. Just 70 bridge crew members. There's right now I think 73 and it caps out at 75. A couple spots just opened up of people who canceled, which is rare, but a couple people did leave and one of the spots was already filled. We got a new annual member today. And then I think there's one left. The last time I looked. I'll go check the email. Oh, I think someone might have just signed up for it. So it might be sold out again. Cause y'all are crazy. Yeah, it's sold out again. All right. Well, it lasted a few hours. An advert in live chat. There's an ad in the chat. Colomini's here. We in the lower deck say "grr" at bridge crew. Yeah. Well, what are you gonna do? It's funny to me. I really, really appreciate everyone that's in the bridge crew, but it is funny to me that I guess when I first started, I didn't expect it to A, have this many people who are interested in that, and B, them to stay as long as they have. So it's always that constant battle of like, do I open up more spots? Because every time a spot opens up, it's literally taken like that day. But then I don't, part of it is the exclusive factor. And it's like it started off as 15 people and now it's already up to 75. So I don't want to keep doing more and more spots because it kind of dilutes the exclusivity of it. Although to be fair though, I love everyone in the bridge crew, and you don't have any type of responsibility to be active or whatever. But it is interesting to me that it's like there's 75 people in there, and there's probably, I mean, Greg, you're in there, Alina, you're in there, like what, a dozen people who talk. I mean, which is cool if you're a lurker, that's totally fine. But it's like it is interesting to me. It's like where is everyone? I'll look through the member. I'll look through the members of the server. I'm like, who the hell are these people? They never say anything. Ken R. The legend is here. This is my obligatory plug for my personal channel. If anyone's here and not subscribing, please subscribe to my personal channel. I do music reactions once in a while. I'm watching 6 Feet Under in Smallville, and I might watch some movies as well eventually. Please subscribe. It's free. Okay, anyway, back to the stream. Is the audio choppy? Here, bring the mic a little bit closer. Is that better? I think this mic has a natural voice isolation thing, so if I get too far away, it might start like not picking it all up. Ken, man, I gotta say, I'm not trying to glaze Ken too hard here. Pause. But I gotta say, you're one of my favorite patrons, and I don't know what was said, but I saw in the patron takes today, or was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. I think it was on DS9 Explorers episode. You said something along the lines of like, "Oh, I deleted my comment because people were saying stuff." Screw everyone else, man. Say whatever you want. Never feel pressure to delete your comments. I only agree with you on your takes about 25% of the time, and sometimes we line up completely perfectly. But even when we're, completely opposed, I love reading your takes. I love the different perspectives. So whether you're dissing on Voyager or dissing on Deep Space Nine, or you're loving either one, just do you, man. Wasn't a big deal. All right, I appreciate that. Even if you don't like Klingons, yeah, especially the TOS Klingons. Oh, Keith, you're Who North America? Do you have two YouTube channels? And fellow Patreon member Doug Steinmiller is here. Where's he? My take was basically it was nauseatingly wholesome. That's not an incorrect take. It's not. That's not an incorrect take. It's just a matter of if you like wholesome things or not, right? What about offering one-off movie reaction purchases outside of Bridge Crew? That's another one where, yeah, we might, but we have to get caught up first. Like we have to prioritize the Bridge Crew. So right now we have, and that's another thing that a bunch of people sign up annually to the Bridge Crew and then don't even submit a movie request, which is, hey, I'm not complaining. We're already busy enough, but very interesting to me. But right now we have two more movies that we've watched but not posted, so those will be coming in the next few weeks. And then we have 6 movies left that we have to watch. And I don't know if he's here, but one of them was an exception that we made for Star Trek Iborg because he's a second-year member and a cool guy. Usually we cut it off at 3 hours, but we're watching the 195-minute Schindler's List. A, because I like Star Trek Iborg, and B, because Alex has always wanted to watch that. So we're going to watch it. But yeah, the 6 overall left. So once we get caught up, maybe we offer that. But the thing is, we've been watching these movies for so long, to actually be caught up would be nice for a while, to actually have time to do something else. I'm still waiting for my movie wheel pick to get watched. Yeah, there you go, exactly. Smallville was great. Crazy went off the air about 15 years ago. Yeah, I've only seen the first 2 episodes, but, I really enjoyed them. And I don't know if I'm right, but I told Alex because I had this feeling, and now if anyone, if you guys are, it seems like most of you here are Target Audience fans, so you know who I'm talking about. But just in case there's anyone new here, Alex is my channel partner over on Target Audience. A number of years ago, we watched Buffy, and I didn't love Buffy, but he hated it. And going into Smallville, there was a part of me that was like, well, it's Superman related. Should I maybe see if Alex wants to watch this? But I just had a feeling of like, I just feel like he won't like this. And then after watching the first 2 episodes, I am now very sure he wouldn't like it, and I talked to him about it, and I was like, "Yeah, I don't think he'd like it." So I'm curious if he ever gives it a watch, if he would, because to me, it gives off that very mu and who knows if the show who I don't know if the show stays this way, but it gives off the very, kinda Riverdale-esque. I'm not saying it's on that level of ridiculousness, but kinda, the Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Riverdale kinda esque vibe, but with Superman, which for me, that's right up my alley. That's like, yes, please. But, so I really liked it, but I don't think you would. I think you should give Buffy a second chance on the Solo channel. Here's the thing, I didn't love it or anything, or I didn't hate it, but I didn't think it was great either. Also, RIP to the guy who just passed away. That's very unfortunate. But, oh, and they were gonna have a reboot and it got canceled or whatever. That sucks. But, I really like Allison Hannigan from How I Met Your Mother and American Pie and other things, obviously. I like Sarah Michelle Gellar as Daphne, and and in I Know What You Did Last Summer and a bunch of stuff. But yeah, maybe I could watch it eventually. But I also, yeah, but like I said, it's not like I loved it. But everyone says the first season wasn't. See, here's what gets me mad, and this is the same reason we stopped watching Battlestar Galactica. Oh, here we go. You got me on a rant. Okay, here's what makes me mad. So it's like with Buffy, before starting the show, everyone, all the Buffy fans, oh, the first season's horrible. Oh, it's terrible. Just, oh, it gets so much better. And then we watch, the first season. Yeah, this isn't really that good. You guys are crazy. It's like, what? It's like, you told us. Now, Battlestar Galactica, it wasn't that people said it was bad. People did not say the first season is bad. With Battlestar Galactica, it was just that we didn't watch the first episode. We didn't watch, what was the first episode called? 33. We didn't watch the first episode after the miniseries and bow down. Oh my God, greatest show of all time. You know, we watched it and we're like, oh, this is kind of silly. Are you kidding me? It's like, yeah, chill out. So, anyway, there's my rant. I'm talking about the reboot. Battlestar Galactica 1978 was goofy as hell, but it was great. Your love of the 1978 series tainted your enjoyment. Oh, okay. Ken R, do you actually not like 1978 and like the reboot? As a TOS fan, I'm surprised. The patron interactions are the best and worst thing for your enjoyment. I agree. Well, I don't know if I agree with that, but I would say that we're unlike other channels in a lot of ways. But one thing that's very different about the target audience is the level of fan interaction, specifically patron interaction. And you know, at the end of the day, I do think our channel would be a lot different if there was none. But also, like, I don't think we'd be a popular channel if there wasn't. I mean, I don't know. I don't think if we did our reactions and then like that's it. It was like, here's our reaction, that's it. Like if you go back and watch our TOS videos, if our entire channel was just like that, I don't think we would have, been as successful as we are. I think the fan interaction is something a lot of people really enjoy. Um, but at the same time, that's gonna have negatives just like anything else, right? So yeah, there's obviously some things about it that have affected certain things. And Battlestar Galactica was one of them because it was like we were 6 episodes in and it's like, God damn, I'm so fucking sick of hearing these people complain. Let's just not watch this. And it's like that, and that's really unfortunate. But it is what it is. Ken R, 78 is a dumb kids show. BSG 2003 is one of the top shows from the whole prestige TV era. Oh, there you go. But I think that's the thing is everyone has that opinion. So when we didn't, slob all over the knob per se. It was like, "Oh, these guys are idiots." Which, yeah, we are idiots, but it's like, that's you're coming to our channel. The one thing I just never, it's like, you're coming to our channel right now. This is my channel. You're coming to my channel right now. But whether it's your target audience, it's like we are the one thing we're not is dishonest. It's like we're very open about what we are and all those things. And what's really funny to me is when people come and then get mad that we're not something else that they would enjoy more, but then just like continue to watch us, but then complain that we're not something else. It's like, you know what we are. We're very upfront about it. And if something that about that makes you mad, like, I'm sorry, but it's like that's who we are and that's the channel. We used to have that meme that we'd say all the time. That's the channel. We haven't really said that as much, but it's like, are there things that we can improve and do better? Yeah, absolutely. I think we've improved over time with production and the way we do things. But in terms of like who we are as people and the way we watch shows, it's like, yeah, that's who we are. It's like, you don't like it? I'm sorry you don't like it. I don't know what you want me to do. Anyway, I think my rant's over. Alex and I went on an old man rant today in the discussion about something about TV. Oh, I started going my rant again about current TV lighting. Just whenever just current TV shooting in the dark. When are the Galactica 1980 reactions coming out? I do own it. It's on this shelf right here. Someone sent it to us. So that's definitely I would watch that. Oh yeah, I think someone asked. Let me scroll up here. You guys are unique in the reaction, John, that you aren't hot girls. Well, are we hot guys at least? Question: Does your love of Ron Moore make you reconsider watching BSG? There's definitely a that was from Josh, by the way. There's definitely a thought process of that has made me feel as if, like, definitely reconsider it. Yeah, I think we've said in the past, like, oh yeah, it is weird. Maybe we should get another chance because, like I said earlier, we didn't hate Battlestar Galactica, the reboot. We watched it, and the problem was we just thought it was fine. And like with every TV we watch, we had problems, and we talked about those problems, and sometime in a mocking way. And the difference was, at least at that time, the TNG audience we had was able to put up with our mocking and our the way we watched the show, and the BSG audience was not able to put up with it. So we stopped because it's like, why would we watch this show if people aren't even liking the reactions? At the end of the day, people can complain about whatever they want about our Star Trek reactions. People like them. So like, we didn't feel that was the case with Battlestar Galactica. So, we stopped. There was also other reasons too, just having nothing to do with Battlestar Galactica. Like we wanted to try the horror gallery, we needed time to do other things. Battlestar Galactica wasn't bringing in as much people as we thought. So like there was other things, but like the show itself we didn't hate. It's like, yeah, we thought the shaky cam was annoying. We thought that, we're not huge into serialization. We like episodic a lot more. So but that show still had episodic plots in it in the first season. So like there were individual episodes we really liked. Um I thought Katie Sackhoff was great. I thought the guy playing Apollo was great. I love that they brought back original Apollo. I thought Adama was great. The episode he directed, I really liked. Um but it is what it is. So yeah, it does make me reconsider it. But at the end of the day, we just had a discussion, and Josh, you wouldn't have seen this yet. I don't know if anyone's told you about our reaction yet, but you wouldn't have seen it because it's not up yet. Well, is it? What episode was it? No, it's not up yet. But basically, we just had a discussion recently about that in one of the Star Trek videos about maybe we enjoy Ronald Moore as a writer, and then when he's running the whole show like Battlestar Galactica, we might still like it, but like not as much. And I understand he's a producer too on obviously on Deep Space Nine, and I understand he's in the writers' room and all of that. But in terms of like his actual screenplays and stuff and his fire bars, like we love the bonding because of the fire bars and all that. And like it might just be reversed with Ira, where Ira might end up being a showrunner whose work we really enjoy, but when he's the individual writer on an episode, that credit, it's not one we enjoy. That could also be wrong because we haven't seen a bunch of Ira, but we've seen a bunch of Ronald Moore to the point where we know we like his individual writing credits. I mean, I'm sure there's some we could point out that weren't the best. I know he did like the story or something for The Chase and TNG, but like I think that people are good at certain things, and that doesn't mean Ronald Moore is bad as a showrunner. Obviously, he's done really successful stuff. A lot of people really like Battlestar Galactica. So, you know, but that could be the case. But anyway, to answer your question in a short answer, yes, it has made me reconsider it. And I also think once we're done with classic Star Trek up through Enterprise, that could be on the table for returning, or the bridge crew might eventually vote for it. Doctor Who Book Club, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. David Nutter, Smallville pilot and X Files director, got his start on an earlier Superman show, the live action Superboy series over 4 seasons, 1988 to 1992. That's awesome. I love David Nutter. Not personally, I don't know him. I love his work. But I mean, that'll come to YouTube here eventually, but I popped hard when I saw David Nutter on that Smallville pilot. Matthew Green, thank you so much for the super chat. What are the plans on doing New Trek era? I know there's strong opinions about it. Also, what do you like more, modern writing or 90s to 2000s TV writing? Um, so for the first part of your question, we're doing all of Star Trek in release order. So nothing's really changed about our plans. When we finish Enterprise, the next thing will be the JJ movies. The only thing that would change about it is like the timing. So like if we, when we finish Enterprise and go to the movies, we're not gonna we're not gonna do the 3 movie reactions. Oh, 3 a week. The 3 Star Trek, 2009 Into Darkness and Beyond, or whatever the fuck it's called. Oh, we're doing that in a week. Like no, it's gonna be spread out. But so it's gonna be different. And then also like the newer shows, oh, that's 1 season, 10 episodes, whatever. We'll see how we do it in terms of the pacing. But we're gonna watch it all. So there's not really anything changing in terms of that. We're gonna watch it all. And whether you think it's fortunate or unfortunate, both of the current Star Trek shows I know just got canceled, or they're gonna have one more season. So that might end up being the point where we catch up if they haven't made any more when we get there, or maybe they have made more by then. I don't know. It'll be like 4 or 5 years or whatever. So hopefully there's more, right? But we're gonna watch all of it. The only main difference would be the pacing, and if it's still the main thing. Because like if we're getting through Enterprise and it's no longer able to sustain, us doing this full time is like the main thing, and other projects are doing better, then like it'll have to obviously go based on that in terms of how often we do it. But we're going to watch the whole thing. That's absolutely the case. Unless like one of us quits or dies or gets sick or something. Let's hope that doesn't happen. God, why is my nose itching? Did he just call everything from Enterprise and prior classic Star Trek? Yeah, I'm sorry, Greg. I think a lot of people would just call it Star Trek, right? And then everything after would be New Trek. But yeah, technically to me, that is classic Trek. Stone Baxter, question: what is the single worst thing you have watched on the channel at this point? If you count it, Red Dwarf, because we did post a video of it. So technically that's on the channel. But if you don't count that because we didn't post the reaction, then what's a reaction we've done that's the single worst thing? Does it have to be the whole thing, like a movie or the whole show, or can it be an individual episode? Let me know, and then I'll be able to answer that. Oh, the writing question. Yes, thank you for the reminder. What do you like more, modern writing or 90s, 2000s? I don't know if I've watched enough modern TV to have an opinion on the modern writing. But what I would say is I grew up with 80s, 90s, and 2000s TV, and that still tends to be what I like the most. So I guess by default that would be the answer. But I'm not really experienced enough or well versed enough in modern TV to be able to go. This is the difference between 90s writing and modern writing. I don't really know because I truly have not watched a lot of shows from like post 2010. I love Veep. That's, I guess, is that even still a modern show? That ended a long time ago. Is Veep considered a modern show? Um, you said you guys seem really into modern Marvel stuff. Well, not really Marvel TV. Like I watched the first few Marvel TV shows, and a lot of them weren't that great. But I mean, those are movies. I don't watch any of the modern TV stuff now. Alina, I like TV where I can stare at my phone the whole time and feel like I haven't missed anything. What an era. Yeah, see, absolutely. And I don't, but the thing is, I don't even know. Is that even true? Is that even true of modern TV? I don't know. I like trash reality TV, so a lot of modern TV I watch is like, Love Is Blind or The Challenge or The Circle and stuff like that. So it's like that doesn't count. So it's like, or like cringe YA stuff. Like me and my wife watch, The Summer I Turned Pretty and The Walter Boys and all that kind of stuff. But it's like I don't know if I should judge all of modern TV based on that. I'm not watching like prestige TV. Like I'm not watching, Pluribus or other shows people really like. I see I can't even name them. I did watch the first season of White Lotus and I really really liked it. And then I started the second season and I think I only got like 2 episodes in and I couldn't get into it with any of the characters. And I know that the point is that they're supposed to be unlikable, but I felt like in the first season of White Lotus, they were unlikable in an entertaining and like tense filled way. And then in the second season, it was just like all these characters just piss me off. Like I don't want to watch this. Fallout, The Pit, Silo. Yeah, I haven't watched any of those. I watched the first episode of Fallout only through Alex's YouTube reaction, so I saw a little bit of it, but I've never played the game. I've heard good things, obviously. Oh, I did really enjoy Yellow Jackets, which has one season that they're doing as the final season. I've really enjoyed that show, but just like with Star Trek and anything else, I have my problems with it. But especially the first season of Yellow Jackets, I really liked. Um, Daredevil, yeah, Daredevil on Netflix, but like even that one, it's like Daredevil on Netflix. Is that a modern show? Like Daredevil season 1 was like what, 2013 or something? Like how old is that? I don't even remember. Any chance of Better Call Saul reactions? Well, I am a release order guy, you know that, Josh. So if I was going to do that, it would be Breaking Bad reactions because I've only seen the first episode of Breaking Bad. But that reminds me, I got to scroll back. Did Stone Baxter ever answer my question? Or Baxter Stone? Yeah, Stone Baxter. What is the single worst thing? Episode is fine. Okay. If we're doing individual episode, oh, I don't know if this counts either, but well, no. It's not going to be anything Star Trek because at the end of the day, it's still Star Trek. We attempted to watch the TV miniseries of Scream when Scream 5 was coming out. This was very early on in the channel. And let's just say it was a 3-part miniseries and we only watched 2 parts. So that's definitely got to be in the running. The only thing saving it is that in one of those first 2 parts, Tony Todd was in it. So that was cool. Of course, this was before we ever saw him in Star Trek. Have you seen Creepshow? I have not seen the films, no. I think I own the first one because I bought it in case we wanted to react to it for the horror gallery, but I have not seen it. The Bridge Crew better vote for Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul. Well, Alex has seen Breaking Bad, and I don't know if he's seen Better Call Saul, but I think he has. So the Bridge Crew probably couldn't. I mean, they could vote for it if they wanted to, but Breaking Bad would be something that'd be a possibility for my personal channel eventually. It was something I considered, but 6 Feet Under I've always wanted to watch, so that's the first kind of like drama I'm watching. Um, and with how long I'm taking to watch it, maybe it'll be years. I don't know. Oh, you mean the third season of Scream, the TV series that had nothing to do with the first 2 seasons? Yes, and I'm actually a first 2 seasons of Scream defender. Now, I'm biased because I love Scream. I didn't see Scream 7. I don't really have any interest to. But I did see the first 6 Screams, and I think even the ones I don't like still have those Scream things in them that make them cool in good moments. And I thought the first 2 seasons of that Scream TV show were good. You're a huge fan? Okay, yes, thank you. I never hear anyone talk about this. I feel like because it was on MTV, everyone just writes it off as bad, which is like, okay, fair, I guess. But the main actress from it, who went on to do Strange Darling, I don't know if you watched that movie, but that movie was great. She was in there, and it felt those first 2 seasons felt like Scream movies, but as a TV season, which we never got. That's the only time we got it. And I'm like, oh, this was actually well done. And surprisingly, I liked that the killer was not Ghostface. Like, as much as you would think, like, oh, it's Scream, it should be Ghostface. I like that they tried to make their own lore. Willa Fitzgerald. Yeah, she's great. Yeah. I like that they try to make their own lore. What's his name? Brandon something? Brandon Jones or something like that? Rome is on our list to vote for. It was in the last vote. It was number 3. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Hey, Josh, I just watched Improbable Cause. I really like the screen trim transition for the last act. Oh, yeah, well, thank you. I'm trying not to overdo it. I will just spoiler, I guess. There's a lot of them in the Dias cast. I'm trying not to overdo it. Let me know if I overdo it. Has been asking about Harry Potter. Let me see. Josh, do either of you have an interest in Harry Potter, and have you seen the trailer for the new Harry Potter series? No, I have not, and I saw the movies when they came out. Well, when the last movie was coming out, I was in high school, and I hadn't really seen any of the movies except the first one. So I watched them all in a week, and then saw the last one in theaters, and that's the last time I watched any of them. uh, so no, I don't. I'm not like a huge Harry Potter fan or anything like that. It seems from what I saw like the show is just a remake of the movies or slash books. Why? But anyhow, I'm gonna get into other old man rants, so I just won't. But I just the whole reboot. It's like, why are you rebooting something? I mean, I know the reason, money, but it's like, okay, let's take the Hunger Games for example. I know that they're based off of books too and stuff. It's like, at least they did the prequel movie or whatever, and it's not like, oh, let's just do the Hunger Games again with Katniss again. Now watch egg in my face. They'll do that next year. Anyway, so yeah. So no, not really much interest. Also, just in TV in general, look how chill I'm being about Harry Potter right now. Yeah. Yeah. There's also all the other stuff, yeah. But it's just modern TV right now, I don't know. We watched the first 2 episodes of Pluribus on the channel and it never made it to YouTube. It was just a Patreon thing. And like I enjoyed it, but it was just like I had no we finished episode 2 and I was like, do we want to watch this? Like it just felt like and it was really well made. It was really well made. But it was just modern TV, I don't know, man. Alex is completely out on it. He did a rant today about how, in part of our old man rant about TV. He was like, just stop. he's like, he's like, everything good's been made. Just stop. But I don't know if I'm that far. But it's just I have a hard time getting into anything, especially when there's so many shows like that I want to watch, like Breaking Bad, Smallville, 6 Feet Under, all of these shows that I missed that I haven't watched. It's like something would have to be really really good to grab me in a serious way that's not just background watching. I still think Alex should watch Murderbot. Yeah, yeah, he had said that a few times. I guess that's on Apple TV. I don't think he has Apple TV. He bought Severance physically. I don't know if they released Murderbot physically. Is that on Apple TV? I don't remember. But yeah, I have Apple TV. But the unfortunate thing about it is, it's like the only because I have a Mac, it forces me to use the app Apple TV. I can't watch it on a browser, so I can't screen record it. So if I was going to do a reaction, that makes it very difficult. I'm going to be honest. I don't know how we did. Wasn't Pluribus on Apple TV? Or was that somewhere else? How did I screen record Pluribus? I did not. I've never pirated anything in my life, unless you count screen recording. um, Matthew Green, thank you for another super chat. If you're, I'm not sure if you guys are into MTG. I don't know what MTG is, but there's a Star Trek set coming out later this year. Would you guys get some of it? LOL. You'd have to tell me what MTG is, or someone would have to tell me. Oh, Magic the Gathering. Oh, I mean, I wouldn't be against getting it. That sounds cool. I've never played Magic the Gathering, so no. Yeah, Major Major Taylor Green. Uh, Yeah, no, I'm not into it. Nothing against it. Just never got into it. I had a lot of friends growing up that were into Yu-Gi-Oh. so I had some exposure to that. I had friends who were into Pokemon. I had, exposure to that. I never had friends that were into Magic the Gathering, so I've never really had exposure. Seems like people like it though. You recommend Snagit. You can use it for all screen recording. Okay, Connor, I'll give it a try. How the hell did I get Pluribus? I'm so confused now. Because if I can figure that out, then it would no longer be a problem. I just have no idea how I did it. Did you get it through Amazon? Would that work? I'm gonna try it right now. Oh my god, just work. All right, let's see. Prime Video. Pluribus. Okay, I don't think I did because it says get a free. It says get a 7-day free trial of Apple TV, so I'm not logged in via my Amazon. But I'm gonna do it right now. Oh my god, it is working. Wow. Okay, we figured it out, y'all. Thank you, Jonathan. So now I have to go cancel my Apple TV subscription through my regular one so I can keep it on my Prime. I want to watch For All Mankind, but I don't have Apple. So I went with Man in High Castle instead. Okay, cool. Josh, notice me, Senpai. What's up, Simulacrum? I always say Simulacrum. Is that your name? I have no idea. Was more wondering just about collecting memorabilia, like art stuff. Yeah, no, Star Trek related. I'm down to collect whatever. So, I mean, I got the Lego Enterprise. I don't collect Lego. So, yeah, absolutely. Have you played any of the Star Trek board games yet? Nope. However, the past tense purge has ended. So all the people who canceled because of past tense on Patreon, a large majority of them have already signed back up. Those are all gone now. It's been over a month, which means that our number is, for the most part, accurate. And we are still over 2,000. So very soon, we will be doing a live stream over on Target Audience, and we have to do building the Lego Enterprise until we finish it. That'll be a very long one. And one of them will be playing a Star Trek video game. But the board games are also something I want to play. So that should absolutely be coming soon. Again, those were all things that were like, uh, you know, we were watching these movies are taking up a lot of our time. So once we're caught up on the movies, um, that's something we'd have more time for. Absolutely. Hey, Bunny Tails is here. What's up, Bunny Tails? How's it going? You enjoying TNG? My GF got me into Outlander, so I figure I gotta make her watch DS9. Outlander, the TV show? Is Outlander also a movie, right? Outlander is a show. Is it not a movie at all? Or are you going to do season rankings live like you did TNG season 7? Yeah, you mean like the tier lists? Yeah, we'll tier lists. We tier list every season. And we're going to do it for X Files as well. You guys still planning on doing Gattaca? Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Um, Again, we've been busy with the movies, Connor, like your movie, for example. But no, we've been busy with the movies. But yes, Gattaca is coming. It is kind of a meme now that it was supposed to be our 20,000 subscriber special. We're about to hit 24,000. But yes, it is coming. Your very long musical. Yeah, it wasn't long. It wasn't long. I enjoyed it. But Connor, I guess you can, now that you've seen our reaction to that, you know, are we just weird people when it comes to comedies? Because it's like I want to, maybe if I was high, I would have reacted differently. But it's like so much stuff we watch in the comedy genre. I don't know why, but it's like I just can't connect with it for some reason. Not that I'm not saying it wasn't funny at all. I laughed a lot. There were a lot of great moments in that. But like the Tales from the Crypt guy, for example, instantly I'm like, ah. But I know that obviously Three Stooges comedy is very popular. Outlander is great. Scotland Swords, great character, something you should consider for the future. All right. You laughed a decent amount for that movie. Yeah, we did laugh. Yeah. Like it was a good time. It was a good time. It's just I feel like when I'm watching something that's a comedy and there's a joke that I don't laugh at, not that I feel bad or something, that's a bit much, but like I just feel like it's happened so often lately that I just feel like why don't I find things funny? I'm just too serious. I got to chill out. I think some of it was kind of forced. I don't know that you guys are into farce as much. Okay. I mean, I really like, for example, Monty Python and the Holy Grail. I find hilarious. Comedy is tricky. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Just finished Schitt's Creek. Highly recommend. Oh, that's with rest in peace. Um, the woman in that show. Catherine O'Hara. Got it. Rest in peace, Catherine O'Hara. But yeah, I've never seen Schitt's Creek. I've heard good things though. I all I know of it is that one clip of the guy who's like, "I write it off." What do you mean you write it off? Who pays for it? I write it off. That's Schitt's Creek, right? I just watched your Galaxy Quest reaction last night and was wondering if you think it's more funnier now after watching more Star Trek. I don't know if it'd be more funny, but I absolutely do want to watch it again, and I absolutely think we watched it too early, and I blame the audience. Boo! Of course. No, but the audience did vote for that at the time. 2,000 subscribers voted for that movie. We'd only watched one season of TOS way too early. We should have watched it. I mean, it came out in 99, right? We should have just watched it in release order. But at the very least, some like where we are now at least. So I would like to rewatch it absolutely. Did you enjoy the Trouble with Tribbles? Did the comedy of that episode work for you? Well, I enjoyed that was another example of like I liked the episode, but I wasn't like, oh my, this is the best episode of all time. Like I was just like, oh yeah, it was funny. I love the bar fight sequence, and the Tribbles themselves are a funny like gag. Kirk opening the thing and the Tribbles falling on him. Like it's a funny gag. I liked it. Uh, so did the comedy work? I would say yes. But Star Trek comedy in general usually works for me, outside of some examples. But like for the most part, I do laugh pretty commonly watching Star Trek. But I did like the Triple Tribbles. It just wasn't like my top 10 or anything. Um, are you and Alex huggers? You'll be at Star Trek Vegas, correct? I would say so. And yes, we are as of right now going to be at Star Trek Vegas. Well, I shouldn't speak for Alex actually. No, but he is. He is. I haven't enjoyed most modern comedies. I'm gonna check out the new Scary Movie. Good, yeah, good luck. Uh, uh, yeah, hopefully you like it. I don't I, I saw the trailer and I went, "Mm." "Mm, okay." But, growing up, I did think Scary Movie, specifically Scary Movie 4, I was in 6th grade, and I loved it at that time. Thought Charlie Sheen was hilarious. Ceno Jackson will be making her first con appearance at Vegas? It's gonna be her first one? Ooh. Hopefully we get to meet her. Vegas is gonna be so weird if things work out and we end up going. You saw the first Scary Movie in theaters at 14. I saw it, I was either 5 or 6 at my aunt's house. We all sat down and watched it at her house, like, my whole family. It was like an event. Rented it from Blockbuster. Absolutely inappropriate for me to watch at that age with my parents and family present, but it was an event back then. How far along on DS9 are you? We The last Deep Space Nine episode we watched was season 3, episode 22, Explorers, and then with I know you didn't ask, but but with Voyager, we watched today season 1, episode 14, Faces. So that's where we are. Shit faces. Um, no spoilers, obviously, but because I have to look at the titles to get ready, I did see that either the next DS9 episode or an upcoming one is called Facets, and I just thought that was I had to do like a double take. I'm like, there's a Voyager episode called Faces, and then a DS9 episode called Facets. Isn't that kind of weird? It's one letter off. It's kind of like how TAS had the Survivor, and then TNG had the Survivors, but like not related at all. Have you adjusted to filming in the mornings? Well, if you were here a little bit ago, I did talk a little bit more about getting my sleep schedule doing better, but in general, yeah. I mean, I think okay, here's a hot take for me. I'm sure you'll disagree with this, Josh, but I think a lot of the things people say about our reactions are cope. I think it's really funny that we'll spend half an hour to an hour talking about why we like or don't like an episode, and then all the comments will be about reasons of why we liked or liked it that aren't what we said in the video, but instead just like weird outside reasons, like how tired I am, or the fact that Alex hates Ira, or like all these other things. It's like, oh, how about all the reasons we said in the video? But anyway, you know, was it an adjustment at first? Yeah, a little bit of an adjustment, but I would say that overall, I am less like there would be days when we would record in the evening where you look at some of those videos and like the discussions on some of those episodes are like 12 minutes. And it's because I just got done working like in an office all day, or even if I worked from home, and then we would watch 2 or 3 episodes and do discussions, and it's like 8:45 or 9 p.m. and we're trying to talk about this episode. And it's like we just didn't have the energy. So it's like one of the biggest positives of recording in the mornings is having that energy and like these discussions being so long because there's no like we don't have to go to bed for work the next day. It's like we could in theory go as long as we want. So it's like that has been the biggest. I think the discussions, I mean the reactions are good too, but like the discussions have been so greatly benefited by that change. So I'm really grateful for that. Um and then the sleeping schedule, yeah, that was something I had to adjust to in terms of like getting enough sleep. but that's been my whole life, not just from switching to mornings. My whole life I haven't gotten enough sleep, so that's a very recent life change that I hope to keep up. There really was a past tense purge exodus. You know how I get spoiled at your reactions when there's 500 replies. What do you Captain Kirk, what do you mean by that? Oh, you're saying like when there's 500 replies, you're like, "Oh, this is a hot take reaction?" I I don't think purge or exodus is the right word for it. There were a number of people that canceled that weren't that, is higher than normal, and a large majority of them have already signed back up. But there was, yeah, overall there was a number of people who canceled and have not come back, and hey, peace and love. Peace and love to them. That's the other thing I always say, whether it comes to watching us on YouTube or being on Patreon. No one's forcing you to be on either of those. And I'm not a creator who's like, "Oh, please." It's like, "All right, you don't like my content, peace and love. Nice having you." For everyone that's here, I appreciate that you're here. It's like, I remember you said that you get bored of doing things the same way for too long and like shaking things up. Can we expect another shake up with the start of upcoming seasons of DS9 and Voyager? And I did say that. In terms of the format of the videos, I really like the format that we've done basically since Star Trek TNG season 6 of reaction whiteboard that can be a grade but can also be whatever we want. Discussion patron takes. I really like that format. I kind of feel like is basically perfected. I don't think there needs to be a lot of change to it. Now within those individual segments, are there things that can change or be improved? Yes. I still always think about patron takes and try to consider, is there anything we can do to make them better that doesn't isn't going to be too confusing for everyone more than it already is. But in terms of changing it up, the one thing I would say is I would love to get back to doing a little bit of more patron appreciation beyond just the patron takes. We used to do little like thank yous to individual members and things like that. I would love to do more of that, like just to shake up the videos, do something a little bit different, have something a little bit different in each video. So it's not so monotonous, but and especially since we're doing one Star Trek episode a day now, it'd be easier to do that. So that's something I'd like to do. But in terms of like shaking up the format completely, I don't see that coming. I think it's pretty much perfected. And I like it. So will you ever drop a 2-liter bottle of Coke, Mentos into a 2-liter bottle of Coke while watching an episode just to shake things up? No, but funny story. As a kid, we had a science fair. And the teacher said, "The only thing you're not allowed to do is a volcano." So, typical Josh, I took that as a challenge and I said, "Fine, I won't do a volcano. I'll do an experiment on putting Mentos into soda." Basically the same result. I got an A. Gotta add food content, whiteboard reactions while eating Taco Bell. Well, dude, I don't know if y'all remember this, but way back, um, way back in our videos, we used to do a segment where obviously we weren't like eating Taco Bell or anything, but we used to do a segment where, or not a segment, but like we would purposefully be eating something This didn't last a long time. It was, I wanna say it was, like, season 4 of TNG when we had the chairs and the one shot. Might have been season 3. I think it was after the green screen, but we would be purposefully for a while, we purposefully ate something, like, in every video. It'd be, like, popcorn, a brownie, like, it was always something, and I don't remember why we did it or why we thought it was so funny. Eventually, we stopped, but, um, I would like to do food because I would love to do a food Star Trek food video of, like, making the food, like, making the ga, right, and, like, making different stuff. I think that'd be hilarious. And yes, Alex did do a video on the Big Arch recently. I've told him it is my favorite video of his. I laughed so hard. I laughed so hard at the end. He goes, "I took a bigger bite than the CEO, so please sign up to my Patreon." But yeah. Real ones remember the Alex commercial break skits from TNG? Oh yeah, those were good too. Yeah, that was for the that was the patron thing, right? Or was that, or no, that was the blue screen old 90s TV commercial music, and he'd walk in and be like, "Hey, like the video." Those were fun. Colonel B, apologies if you talked about this ad nauseum, but how did you and Alex meet? Seems you go back at least to high school, right? That's awesome. Yes, technically, we met in sixth grade, which for us would have been 2006. And we met walking home from school one day. And then I moved that year to another city. So I didn't talk to my friends from that school the rest of that year. But then I moved, my family moved, we moved a lot when I was younger, but all in like the same general area of towns. And we moved back. And so then in middle school, I really became good friends with Alex, Nick, who has been on the channel, and then a few others. And so, and then like, I think summer after freshman year, we became like really good friends, like best friends like we are now because we bonded over wrestling as well as a few other things and Marvel and stuff like that. So, yeah, we've been friends for about 15 years or so. Going on 20 years if you count meeting in 2006. Have you been liking the Dominion Alpha Quadrant Cold War building up since they have fully introduced the Dominion? I have liked it, but I just feel like it hasn't really kicked off. I mean, there's 4 seasons left of the show, so I feel like we're still, I mean, like, well, I mean, you said it, Cold War, right? So I'm waiting. Like the Cold War stuff has been fine, but it's like, okay, when's this Cold War going to turn into a conflict? And I think we're getting there. I don't know if, I mean, this isn't on the YouTube yet, but like we watched the two-parter, the Die is Cast and Improbable Cause, and it's like, okay, things are happening. So I'm interested to see where it goes. Romulan Ale, yes, that'd be another great one to try. I like that Alex told you not to be friends with him because he's cursed. Yeah. Something tells me they won't like the Dominion arc, but love some heartfelt moments. Maybe, but I think people also, I understand that the I understand that DS9 has more of an overarching story, but people still have to remember that all of our reactions are very episodic, you know, even when the show isn't. And like that's why we can have reactions where we hate an episode and then another episode does something, maybe it's written by the same people or it's made similarly or it's a similar plot or has the same guest character, and then we can love that episode. We truly do go into everything, as what is this episode, and we don't carry that over. The downside of that is you have something like Deep Space Nine that had a 10 episode amazing streak at the beginning of the season, and then it had a two-parter we didn't like, and it was like, oh well, it doesn't matter we had that 10 episodes because we didn't like this. Then it has Heart of Stone and Life Support, and it's like, oh, we love those. So, it's still episodic TV at the end of the day. So something like, oh, the Dominion story as a whole, it's like, yeah, I'm sure I'll have an opinion on it as a whole when it's done, but it's like, I'm always going to look at it more on the individual level basis. DS9 actually spends 4 seasons doing a Meridian and Melora arc. Well, wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't it be nice? Sorry, y'all. I'm just checking something real quick. Are you ever coming to Boston? Is that an accurate Boston accent? Boston? I would love to come to Boston. I've never been there. I've never been to anywhere really in New England. Would love to. You're coming to NYC where everything is expensive and stupid. Yeah. Alina, did you hear my NYC trying to come to NYC story already? I don't want to tell the same stories all the time. You have said TNG surpassed it towards the end of the show. Oh wait, that was the second part. Question: How close behind TNG is TOS in terms of your love of the shows? You said TNG surpassed it. Yeah, they're right here. They're right here. The only reason I would say overall it's TNG is because TNG just has more quantity of episodes I really love, and that's just because it has more episodes. It's a little bit unfair. Um, but here's something that'd be really interesting. If I took my top 5 of TOS and my top 5 of TNG and I ranked those, what would be number 1? I think Lessons would still be number 1, but This Side of Paradise has a shot. But there's nothing like Lower Decks in TOS. So, yeah, it's TNG, but they're right here. And I still already get that feeling where anytime I put on TOS, I get this instant warmth that spreads through my body. I levitate. You should see it. I'll film it. I levitate off the ground. It's wild. You were supposed to, right? Was it a honeymoon? Yeah, we were supposed to go for our honeymoon. Took the flight to Myrtle Beach, which was supposed to be a connecting flight. Get on the plane to go to New York City. Pilot comes out, says we can't fly there. There's a hurricane. And we got stuck in Myrtle Beach for 3 days. And that was our honeymoon. um, but yeah, would love to go there eventually. Visit our Doctor Who shop if you're ever in the Indianapolis area. I will keep that in mind. And I actually was in the Indianapolis area once. I went to Carmel, Indiana to go to the Cake Bake shop, which is somewhere my wife really wanted to go. So I took her for her birthday a couple years ago, and it was amazing. It was delicious. It's a full restaurant, but it also has cakes, obviously. And it's about a 5-hour drive for us. So that's about a half hour, I think, outside of Indianapolis. So if we ever go back, I will keep that in mind to check that out, even though I've never seen Doctor Who in my life. But I'll come just to visit you. Yeah, come hang with Sixto and you. You and Sixto just in the same room is something I need to see. So I mean, just for that reason alone. Were you, Alina? Are you coming to Vegas? I couldn't remember. You said they might do Con the musical there. There is no other shoe. Love the old skits you guys used to do. Any chance of bringing them out of retirement? I'm in the mood for more seeing you guys old wrestling clips for Alex's birthday. Oh, well, thank you. And yeah, we could always do some. It's just, we're not like the best, the skits were fun and everything, but we got to have some creative juice behind it. We got to have something that we want to do. You know what I mean? And like, we don't want to do it just to force it. Have you been enjoying the more emotional writing in DS9 and Voyager than TNG? Yes. I've definitely been enjoying that. Yes. There are worse places than Myrtle Beach. It's funny you say that, Mikey, because that's literally what every single like Uber driver and everything there said to us. Like every person we said, yeah, so yeah, we're just stuck here. Well, worse places to be stuck than Myrtle Beach. That's literally what they all said. And it was fine. We're not really like beach kind of people, necessarily, but it was a good time. We went to Margaritaville, did a few cool things, went to a House of Mirrors. I want to go. They're going to do a panel with the con musical stuff. Yeah, yeah, that's fair. Con the musical is coming to Cleveland. Oh, okay. I think they were at a. I think they were Con the musical was at a con I did recently. What were they? Would you know about that? I thought I saw something that they were at a con recently. Not con the musical, but a convention. I don't. Unfortunately, I don't know off the top of my head. I'd have to look it up. And I could have misremembered it or maybe I did see it was Vegas. I don't know. I can't off the top of my head. I can't remember. You asked Brimp, you don't think so? Okay, it's very likely it might have just now that I'm thinking about it, it might have been Vegas actually because they are going to be at Vegas, right? Yeah. All right. I'll probably wrap up soon, but I wanted to say for this channel here specifically, I appreciate a lot of you guys are here from target audience and everything. That's awesome. For this channel here specifically, I'm gonna be doing the Beatles album, Sergeant Peppers or whatever, and then I'm gonna do another Pink Floyd album soon. Those will be live when I do them on the Patreon, and then I'll post them here. And then I'm going to be watching more Six Feet Under. That'll be coming to YouTube. And then I'm also watching Smallville. Those have not come to YouTube yet. I've done the first two. They're on Patreon uncut. Those will come eventually as well. That's basically going to be the slate for this channel. And then random lives like this. I've usually been doing these on the target audience channel. I think I'm going to move that here. Since this is my personal channel, I think that makes more sense. So I'm going to move that here. So make sure if you want to see these lives and you're a target audience fan that you are subscribed here so that you get those notifications. Um, you should probably start seeing those uploads next week, would be my guess. First to Patreon and then here for this channel. Um, but I will hang out with you guys here for a little bit longer before I head out, and I got to do a little bit more editing and whatnot before getting ready for bed. But do you love Ducat more than Garrick? It seems you and Alex gravitate more towards Mark Alimo's performance. I think at this point I would say Garrick. I think at this point they're both great, but I think Garrick, especially after season 3. You know what we've seen from him this season. Ducat really hasn't been around that much this season. I hope to see more of him, and there's nothing wrong with him, but I think he's great. They're both S tier characters. I said this earlier, but I just feel like with Garrick, it's just whenever he's in an episode, it's always likely that he'll be the best part of it. And if he's not the best part of it, he's a good part of it. So Andrew Robinson is incredible. I don't know if there's a better cast character in Star Trek up to this point than Andrew Robinson is Garrick. Like, can you imagine anyone else? Maybe, but I'm glad it's him. um, but Ducat is great as well, and Mark Lyon was obviously great as Ducat. But yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a stacked cast because I will put Nog above both of them. He's not a Cardassian, but as a side character, Nog is my favorite. In all of Star Trek, Nog is probably my favorite recurring side character that is in more than 2 or 3 episodes. When you finish the Lego Enterprise, are you gonna have to remove something to display it? I'll probably just put it, so you see where this thing is right here? Right now it has this, like, film cinematic reel and then the DS9. I'll probably just move those and put the Enterprise there. And if for whatever reason that doesn't fit, then maybe I'll put it in here somewhere, but I think it'll fit there. What about Morn? Yeah, there's always Morn. There's a great DS9 documentary that Ira did a few years back that you guys would like after you're done with DS9. Yeah, I'm aware of it, and we are going to watch it when we're done, for sure. I've already seen it's popped up on my streaming service, because we watched Chaos on the Bridge. I think Prime? I think on Prime. I've already seen the cover of just, I think it's like Ira with his blue goatee, and it's like the station in front of him. What's it called? What We Left Behind or something like that? So yeah, we'll watch it when we're done. Great edit on the Tombs trailer. Well, thank you very much. And I try to, you know, with the trailers, I really like doing them. It's probably my favorite thing from an editing standpoint. But I don't want to do them too much because I feel like, you know, there's a lot of stuff on the channel that I'm behind on. This personal channel, and then stuff on the main channel like the Expanse edits never making it to Patreon. YouTube just in general being behind all the time. So I sometimes feel guilty doing a trailer, but people really seem to enjoy them, and I enjoy making them. So when I'm really passionate about it, or really want to do it, I do it. But the documentary you've been waiting for, okay, yeah, we'll watch documentaries for all of them. It's called Ira. What's with that goatee, brother? Yep. Would you be up for reacting to international African music? Sure. I actually on my Patreon when I do the live music album reactions, I always say to the patrons there, throw in whatever you want, and I'll listen to suggestions. And then if there's one that catches my attraction, I follow up and I'm gonna listen to some albums. So like I'm already planning on listening to a Bjork album, I always forget their name. There's another band that I listened to on the live stream that I really like the song. So I'm gonna listen to an album. I think the people who did "Hungry Like the Wolf." What's their band name? Um, so there's already a few I have lined up off of that. So yeah, I'd be down to listen to that. I don't know how much my music reactions. If you haven't watched them yet, they're not very. I don't have a lot to say. It's not like I'm not a music critic. I just like listening to music, and I go, "Oh, that was nice. Oh, I liked this." So very basic, but I like it. So much better than official trailers at the time. Thank you. Not Duran Duran. No, that's not what I'm thinking of. Eye of the Tiger, not Hungry Like the Wolf. Eye of the Tiger. Who did that? Well, thank you, Colonel B. Survivor, yes, Survivor. The Survivor album. I want to react to that because I listened to a song off of that someone sent, and I really liked it. Stadium Rock, Arena Rock. Although I've never listened to Duran Duran either, so film scores or musicals would be interesting reactions. Yeah, that could be really interesting. Yes, Ramstein. Okay, gotta use this channel to tell people about August Pontier. Yeah, well, unfortunately, I already listened to the album. I could do Josh's album recommendations. 27 views. James Bond reactions would be a great way to target some new viewers. Yeah, I've only ever seen Casino Royale and the one right after Casino Royale. So that would be good. Quantum of Solace, I think it was called. But for again, for right now, I mean, movies are its own thing, but for right now, on this channel, I'm gonna be watching Smallville first season, 6 Feet Under first season, doing music reactions, and then I would like to slip in some movie reactions. But even those, I have to watch Silence of the Lambs next because that won the poll on Patreon for my fan voted reaction. So I'm gonna watch Silence of the Lambs, and then I'm gonna be watching. I really want to watch Sinners. I still haven't gotten a chance to watch it. I own it, and then I also am going to watch uh The Exorcist 3 because it's one of Alex's favorite movies and I've never seen it. So those are my next three, I think, movies on my list. I would also like to watch The Mouth of Madness, In the Mouth of Madness, because it has Sam Neill and people recommended me that after Event Horizon. But yeah, that's what I'm watching. And Evil Dead. Oh yeah, and I have to watch Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness. Yeah, those are on there as well. I got a lot to watch. And movies aren't even like movies aren't even the focus of this channel. So it's like that's like C. It's like A, music reactions, B, 6 Feet Under and Smallville, C, movies. And and even for the movies, I have so many I want to watch. So I gotta get on it, guys. I gotta get on it. I'm gonna do it, I promise. Content, content, content. But I am going to head out. Thank you, everyone that was here. I want to specifically, definitely give a shout out to Mark Magana, the Naxos, Doctor Who Book Club, Matthew Green, who gave super chats during the stream. That's not something that's expected, but I really, really appreciate it. If you want to check out my full music album reactions are on the Patreon, as well as Smallville's already over there, uncut to sync up with me. And a lot more stuff hopefully should be coming in April. And thank you for being subscribed to this channel. So thank you guys. I will see y'all later.